Alright guys, good morning, and today is a good Sunday morning here in the Everyday RC workshop, and as you can see I have the Traxxas Unlimited Desert Racer here on my Cow RC pit mats. I haven't even run the truck yet, but there were some things I wanted to address before I ran the truck for the first time. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos out there, a lot of helpful information. This truck is unbelievable. It is an extremely intricate design, and I enjoy that actually. I really enjoy how complicated it is to work on. I really feel that Traxxas has really outdone themselves with the design here. It can be a little intimidating for some people, but I wanted to address some of these issues before I ran the truck because I've been doing some research and I found that there are some things you might want to just check out, and I was just interested in the overall design to begin with. So I've already gone ahead and removed the center transmission cover right here, and there is a cush drive system in here similar to the X-MAXX, but I really like what Traxxas has done here, sealed off with an O-ring at the end. This is just top quality design right here. And inside this, it's actually really cool how it works. It's almost like a differential, but there's a planetary gear system in here, and within here there are 4 planetary gears. So I wanted to grease that up. Not too much dirt goes into this center transmission here, but I got an awesome product from Cow RC called Udr. This is a really super waterproof grease that I see a lot of the rock crawler and trailing trucks use to prevent water and dirt and debris from going into your gears here. So what I really like about this product is it comes in this syringe type application, and I basically was pumping in the grease right here into this channel right here and spinning it, allowing for the grease to get pulled into those planetary gears. So I have greased that up, although I was very happy to see that there was a good amount of grease from the factory. As you can see right here in my rear axle, you can see that there was a decent amount of grease that Traxxas installed on there, and that's one thing I want to get to in a second. But I addressed the center transmission planetary gears, and as you can see, as this is spinning, it's drawing in a lot of that grease into there, and I haven't seen too many issues with dirt and debris going into here. But I wanted to get to the rear axle assembly because a good friend of mine, Keith over at Bulletproof RC, had run his a bunch, and he finally got a chance to take apart his rear axle, and there is a ton of sand and dirt that gets drawn into here, and the last thing you want is that dirt and sand to be grinding on your ring and pinion gears right here. And him and I were on the phone last night, we were wrenching together, and we found that the dirt is actually coming in through the end of the axle, getting drawn in here through the drive shafts and getting sucked into this. And it's really cool how Traxxas has set this up. I mean, it's a really thoughtful, awesome design. As you can see here, you have your rotor and caliper system. It looks like a real vehicle, and this basically gets slipped on into the end, and the spline shaft goes into the end of your locked rear bevel gear right here. Okay, your ring gear. Alright, and as you can see, the splines go right into there. But what you want to do is you want to pull this out, and then you can get this rear section of the rear axle out. And as you can see, I've applied even more of the Udr into this planetary gear system, so it's really cool. You actually kind of in a sense have a rear diff in this truck as well. So you have your ring gear that goes to your pinion, but within this pinion you have another planetary gear system, which is very cool. And what I said I like about this product is you can actually use it, if I can show here on camera here, you can actually use it to apply it into this channel very nicely. And if you use the syringe application, you can just basically pump it right into there. And I want to get some into this channel as well. As you can see, it applies very nicely. So this product I found it works really good. So if you have a UDR, you might want to pick up some Udr butter from Cow RC. This stuff works really good, and I'm really happy with the overall design. So I'm gonna get the center transmission bolted back in. I'm gonna finish up servicing this rear axle, get that all back together. And that was one other thing I wanted to point out, is that my friend Keith had pumped this axle full of grease and then slid the drive shaft through there. So this is going to be filled with some waterproof grease. I'm going to fill this with the Udr butter so that no more dirt can enter in through this axle into your gears here in the back. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to get these two items all put back together, and then from there I'm going to flip the truck over and pull the top cover off the front differential, and I'm just going to pump some grease into that ring and pinion gear on the front. I had taken this section apart thinking I was going to pull the front assembly out, but really I haven't run the truck yet and there's really no need for me to go ahead and do that. So I'm just going to pump some grease into that differential housing on the ring and pinion gear, and that should basically take care of servicing the drive line on this truck before my first run, because I might be in different types of conditions and I've seen that this is a bit of an issue. So I'm going to take care of that. And I'm also going to put a little bit of grease around this lip just to prevent some dirt from entering into there. But wow guys, this is really fun to work on in my eyes. It's a little bit intimidating, but once you get your hands in there and start wrenching, it's really cool and really thoughtful design, and I appreciate the intricacy of this design. So it's really cool. So let me get this all buttoned back up. I'm going to flip the truck around, service the front diff, and then I'll show you guys the finished product. Before I get this rear axle housing put back together, I just want to show you how much grease I pumped into here on the ring and pinion gear, and that's going to keep this very well protected, and it's going to prevent a lot of dirt and sand from going in here. I really like the quality of this Udr butter, and I'm not just saying that, you know, this is a really good quality, I would say better than marine grease, but I'm really happy with the quality of it, how thick it is. And once I get it all sealed up here and put into the housing back here, I think it's going to be very well protected. You also want to take in account the lip right here on the rear casing. I think I got enough grease in there right now on the planetary system and the ring and pinion gear that when I slap this back together, this lip is going to get sealed with the grease, and that's going to prevent a lot of stuff from going in there. So let me get this all slapped back together, reinstalled, and then I'll show you the front differential. One thing I wanted to point out, as you can see, I put grease all along this lip right here to prevent dirt and sand from entering into the rear axle. So it's going to create a nice seal on there on the rear axle, and you're going to install it into the truck just like so, very nicely, as you can see. And now that grease has made a nice seal around that rear axle. Okay, so I'm going to get this back bolted onto the rear axle. I'm going to pump grease in through the ends of the axles and then slide my drive shafts in there, and that should take care of the issues with that rear axle, dirt entering into there. Alright guys, I'm at the point now where I'm going to start pumping in grease into the rear axle. I'm going to get in there as far as I can go, and I'm going to fill this with, oh yeah, it's filled up. And then once I slide the drive shaft in there, I'm going to do so right now, as you can see. Oh yeah, it's going to push all of that grease into there. Really liking that, guys. Really liking that. So there we go. Okay, I'm almost ready to get the bottom plate back on and then address the front differential. As you can see, I have most of the truck put back together and everything has been serviced and greased. But I just want to show you some of the features on this truck. Look at that. Look at how that slides, that spline shaft slides when I compressed suspension, how it slides in and out of that center transmission. So realistic, guys. And that's why they have that O-ring right there at the end of the transmission case. But look at that. That's just such a nice quality. I'm really happy how everything came back together. I did install some Dusty Motors shock covers on the rear shocks. I'm going to be doing the same thing on the fronts. And I'm going to show you how I grease the front differential, and then we're going to call it a day. Okay, got the truck right side up. Got the bottom all put back together, and I finally accessed the front differential. And you got to pull this top case cover off of here with the 6 screws, and it pops off pretty easy. And I'm very happy to see that there's a decent amount of grease in there. I haven't seen too many issues where dirt and sand was going into there, but I just wanted to be thorough and make sure. It looks like Traxxas uses a nice high quality grease in there. I am going to, however, pump some more Udr butter into there, this waterproof grease, and I'm also going to fill the top cover with a little bit of grease. So let's get our Udr butter, and this is a great applicator for this, so I'm going to pump some more down into here. You can see on the ring and pinion. I'm just gonna fill this bad boy, and then I'm gonna spin it. Yeah, that's another thing, is that top cover keeps everything in place. So I'm basically gonna load that up with grease and then put the top cover on. I'm gonna get some decals on here, get the body, got my body over here, get some decals on this body. I'm going to get everything back together, and then I'll show you guys the finished product. Okay, I'm almost ready to get the top cover put on. Same thing, I put some grease around this lip edge just to make sure that no dirt goes in there, and I'm going to drop it down into the truck. As you can see, I am loaded up with Udr butter, baby. Oh yeah, I'm going to drop this in, and I'm going to get the front diff all sealed up. Love this tool. Make it happen, guys. Just cleaning up some of this excess grease in here with the Q-tip, because you don't want any dirt or anything to stick to that. So I'm getting rid of some of this excess grease that pushed out, which is good. That means that we have grease applied on the lip, and we are good to go, guys. I'm gonna get my Dusty Motors covers on the front shocks. As you can see, I already have them installed on the rear shock springs, so let's get those installed on the front. Get some decals on it. Let's get the body back on. Let's make it happen. All right, guys, got some sponsorship decals here on the roll cage. Looking good. Got my MAXAMPS, Dusty Motors, Cow RC, and it is using a Valenion ESC, so I had a Valenion sticker laying around, but I really like how that came out. And let's see over here in the rear, just of course got my Cow RC right there on the rear bumper. Got a few little detail stickers there, some Traxxas sticker, Dusty Motors. And now we are going to see what it looks like with the body on. Alright. Pretty cool, alright? Looking good. Got the Dusty Motors shock covers on there. What an awesome vehicle, guys. It's rolling real nice now with the greased up driveline. Alright, let's get the body on. I'm about to mount the body, but before I do so, my good friend Keith Turner over at Bulletproof RC suggested putting some Gorilla Tape on the inside of these wheel wells because of the wheel rub there, and not really wanting to rub off this paint and have it show through. I did so on my Losi 5T, as you can see up in there. I had done that a while ago to protect this paint job, so that was a good suggestion from a good friend of mine, Keith. So I'm going to put some Gorilla Tape over here on the inside of the wheel wells, and then we're going to get this body mounted and put some more decals on it. Let's do it. Okay, I have my Gorilla Tape installed on the inside of the wheel wells. I got it all pushed in there with my nice smoothing tool here that you use for decals or for carbon fiber applications. Got it all in there nice, so shouldn't have any problems with wheel rub right now. That came out really nice, so let's get this body mounted. The thing that my friend Keith Turner suggested was taking some Gorilla Tape and cutting some square pieces out and putting them under each body mounting hole. That would strengthen it a little bit. I have done that in the past on one of my vehicles, on the X-MAXX as a matter of fact. So I'm going to cut some squares out. I have a piece of tape here laid out on my cutting mat, and I'm going to cut 12 squares out for each one of the body holes, and then I'm going to install it onto the body. Alright guys, I have the Gorilla Tape installed on all 12 of the body mounting holes, so that was a really good idea thanks to my friend Keith Turner over at Bulletproof RC. And I cut an X into the center of each one of those to allow the screw to come through. And guess what I discovered, guys? My body is cracked already without even running the truck. I'm not happy about that. Not sure if it was like that out of the box, but I just noticed that. I was super careful when I had pulled it off and took the screws out, so it's a good thing I put that Gorilla Tape on there, because that's definitely going to save the body a little bit. But hey, what are you going to do? We're going to use this, we're going to beat it up. It's going to get beat up anyway, so good thing I put that Gorilla Tape on those mounting areas. And now let's get the body mounted to the truck. Alright guys, have the body mounted and all the decals installed, and I am really liking the finished product of this, man. Wow, this thing is off the hook. Wow, looks awesome. Well, as you can see, I have my Everyday RC sticker on there, which I always like to put on there as a little personal touch. Of course, one of my good friends over at Cow RC supplied me with the Udr butter grease that I installed on the drive line of this, so we got to represent Cow RC. Of course, I have to represent one of my sponsors, MAXAMPS. Of course, I'm going to be running their batteries in the truck, Dusty Motors. I use a lot of their products, and in fact, they supplied me with the shock covers I installed on the spring-loaded shocks. Looks awesome, guys. And this is a nostalgia piece right here. I've had the sticker for many years, and I just thought it was really fitting. Although this is an electric vehicle, I think that the top fuel decal really should be on here and really sets it off. Of course, I got Everyday RC there on the front. Show you guys the rear. Got some Cow RC right there. Traxxas. So I just want to thank you guys for watching today. I hope you found this video helpful. And most importantly, I hope you guys are all making it happen in your RC worlds out there. And for now, this is Chris the Everyday RC Guy saying thanks for watching.